Hello learners, welcome to today's session. This session is on the program Postgraduate Diploma in Environmental and Occupational Health. The topic which we are going to discuss today is environmental ethics. This is a part of the course MEV 003. Learners, you know what are ethics? We use this word very often. Ethical behavior, moral values. What does that mean? According to philosophy, if we talk in that sense, ethics defines what is right and what is wrong irrespective of who we are, what is our cultural affiliation, to which region we belong to. So normally speaking, ethics are a guided principles, a way of living, a way of talking, and these ethics, we are expected to follow at our homes, at our workplaces, in public place. It was always believed that since birth we have been taught about what is right and what is wrong. These are ethics which guide our behavior and also which are very important for maintaining harmony amongst communities, between nations. So in simple words, we can say that ethics is a branch of philosophy which defines what is right and what is wrong irrespective of the cultural differences. So you have been asked what ethical principles do you follow? What do you expect from the coming generation to follow different sorts of ethics? So we have ethics which pertain to religion, we have ethics while we are at the public place, we have the ethics which have to be followed with elders, the ethics pertain to the nationalism. So, different kinds of ethics, we cannot put them all in one heading, but they are the guiding principles and expected behaviors according to the different, you can say according to the different places, according to our different roles in the society which we are having. Specifically, we talk about environmental ethics nowadays. If we simply define and what we are trying to get out of these terms environmental ethics, that means they may be the expected behavior or our actions from environment point of view. So environmental ethics is a very broad term. It has lot of meanings, lot of interpretations you can say. But as simple as that, environmental ethics pertain to our behavior, our moral values towards environment and the different components of the environment. More so, it has been said that environmental ethics is the discipline in philosophy. Again, it has a philosophical roots, that studies the relationship between human beings and the different segments of the environment, the different components of the environment which contain the biotic as well as the abiotic, you can say abiotic components in it, types in it. Learners, you must have come across these type of relationships. We most of the times whenever we discuss about the harmony in the environment, whenever we talk about the environmental conservation, it is always believed that there should be some kind of a relationship. There is a relationship, there is a give and take between the nature and the human beings. Neither the nature can exist alone, nor the human beings can exist alone. There is always a give and take. There is always a kind of an interdependence, interrelationships between the human beings as a species, other organisms comprising of the flora, fauna, microorganisms, and also the rivers, the mountains, and the different abiotic settings that the environment has. We study these relationships in environmental ethics. We determine what is right and what is wrong from the ethical perspectives. Or in other words, environmental ethics is an idealistic situation. As I have said earlier also, ethics define our ideal behavior. So they are the set of the idealistic behavior situations which define that what is correct from environment point of view, what behavior is appropriate and what is not expected out of humans to engage with the nearby environment. So when we obtain the resources from the nature for the satisfaction of our various needs, when we move about freely in the nature, when we take or exploit the different resources comprising of the energy resources, the mineral resources, and also the different ecosystems when we encroach upon those natural settings. What should be our environmentally appropriate behavior, I must say? Because since we have evolved on this planet, we have always been curious about what is there, what are the secrets of the earth, what all does it contain, what do forests contain, what kind of trees are there in, what do the oceans have beneath them. And in this quest of curiosity, of knowledge, we have tried to, we have tried to gather our knowledge, we have tried to obtain the various resources from the nature for our own benefit, for our making our lives comfortable, for making our living more easier. So, in this whole journey, what has actually happened is that we have taken environment and its resources for granted. We have believed that it is our supremacy over the other resources, that we can exploit them, we can take them, we can use them up to the maximum limits possible. So, here comes the role of the environmental ethics, which determines that as we follow ethics in our day-to-day life, as we have a set of normal behavior towards others in communities while as a member of the society, similar way, we must also have a set of codes of conduct while we exploit these natural resources and ecosystems. So, when was this term? You must be curious to know that how and when this environmental ethics came into being. So, learners, it was in 1970. First of all, in US, the term was used for the first time, environmental ethics, because this was actually the time where environmental pollution, the disasters related to the environment and our interference in the nature grew manifold. So, at this time, because lot of environment and development related conferences were happening at this time, you must be aware of the 1972 conference which took place. Then the term sustainable development also came at this time. So, this was the time when we first of all coined the term environmental ethics, and according to Wikipedia, if you see, environmental ethics is a part of environmental philosophy. It comes under the philosophical branch of the environment, which considers extending the traditional boundaries of ethics from solely including and compliance to humans and also to include the non-human world. Here comes the importance of forests, of rivers, of mountains, of minerals, of energy resources. At this time, our attention grew towards that part of the nature which we were taking for granted, because we have always believed that whatever nature is offering, it is only for our own self good. So, it was a growing realization that while we progress and move on the development path, we exert influence on a range of disciplines which pertain to the environment. We have an influence on the rules and regulations related to the environment. Even the environmental sociology, which consists of the terms like environmental justice, come into the picture at this time. Ecological economics, where we consider the services of the nature also have a monetary value. They are also important from economic point of view. Ecology, environmental geography, these all disciplines, you can say, have been overlooked from the ethical perspectives. For example, we exploit the minerals. According to the ethics in this point, we must also consider about the nature and its renewal of those resources. So, environmental ethics is important, and environmental law also, environmental geography also, environmental sociology also. In every branch and every discipline and every field of study of the environment requires the inputs of environmental ethics, so that we are able to do justice with the components of the environment, and we are also able to bring about a uniform code of conduct towards all these important resources and the services which have been provided to us. And these environmental ethics, why is it important? Because broadly speaking, when you go into the deeper studies of environmental ethics, you will come to know that they have a roots in certain beliefs which we have been following since times, since long times. Human beings are a part of nature, we all agree to it, that we are not distinct, we have been a part and parcel of the nature. And as the earth has evolved, as the different ecosystems have evolved, so as the human beings have also evolved. From the nomadic stage to the agricultural stage to the industrial stage and to the information technology age which we are, which we are in today, we have also evolved along with the nature. So we cannot be aloof, we cannot live distinctly, and we cannot always continue to take from the nature apart from renewing it. There are interconnections between nature and human beings. Learners, you very well understand this concept that nature and human beings are inseparable. Even the nature is influenced by our activities, and nature also influences. The type of the soil, the type of the terrain, the type of the climate, the type of biotic community present, it all influences our living. And most importantly, well-being of individuals, well-being of human beings, healthy survival of human beings on this planet is only possible when we have the healthy ecosystems. And this we have forgotten now. We are not aware, we have made all efforts to keep ourselves healthy, to keep ourselves rich, but we have forgotten that our health and well-being is directly related to the healthy ecosystems, to the you can say the flourishing ecosystems, pollution free ecosystems. That is very, very essential. And environment protection is the right of nature and is the extension of the human rights. Learners, we will not be talking about human rights in this session, but you know very well that what are human rights. The rights which are guaranteed to us because we are human beings, and these rights are to move freely, to have expression, and to be able to express our opinions. These are the human rights, to get food and other things along with these. So environment protection is the extension, because it is not possible to exercise or to enjoy the human rights unless and until we have protected our ecosystems. And that is the dichotomy which we always see in the nature, and that is why environmental justice, this is also one of the important and very important topic which you must know, that is environmental justice, that exploitation of certain sections of the society done on basis of their caste, creed, religion, etc. So that is another topic we will be discussing in some other session. So what are the approaches? These are arguments and counter arguments. There has never been a complete agreement on a certain approach of environmental ethics. So here I would like to explain to you about the two main approaches. One is the ecological justification and another one is utilitarian justification. So ecological justification means conservation of the environment is necessary from ecological point of view. The rivers, the soil, the mountains, the forest have ecological value, and in view of this it is important to have an ethical perspective because they are important ecologically. That is the ecological justification. Another group of the people believe that it is the utilitarian justification. It says that whatever the earth has to offer, that is only for the human beings to consume. Every you can say every component of the environment or any ecosystems, they have got certain utility for us. If the rivers are there, they are of importance, they should be cleaned, they should be conserved because they give us drinking water, they are a source of energy. So that is the utilitarian justification for promoting environmental ethics. There are two different sets of people and approaches which explain to us that why environmental ethics is important. So one group says that since they are ecologically important, they are essential for the survival of the planet. Without them, the earth and the whole ecosystems and environment will collapse. That is why we should conserve the different ecological components, the different components of the environment, whether it is soil, whether it is rivers, mountains, whatever. Another group of the people say that we should, yes, conserve these ecosystems, but not because of their ecological value, but because they have a utilitarian value. They provide us raw materials, they give us energy, they are useful because they give us food and water to survive. So, these are the two approaches. Now, we move on to the theories regarding environmental ethics. Learn us very interesting theories. Most common theory is, because we are in the Anthropocene today, that is anthropocentrism. It views that human happiness, human comfort is overall environmental responsibility, and it says that the exploitation of the environment must be for doing the maximum good to the maximum people. So, what the nature has offered to us in the form of the various resources above the earth, beneath the earth, wherever you find the resources on this planet, they are basically for improving the standard of living of the people, for making our lives secure, comfortable, convenient. That group is and this view is known as anthropocentric view. So, all the environmental degradation and pollution problems whatever we are facing today is because of this theory, anthropocentrism. It considers humans first of all and the whole human society, all the groups of the people, their happiness and their comfort is supreme, and all the environmental conservation, if it is taking place, they should be because of we are getting the benefits out of the different resources which the earth is offering to us. Another set of theory is biocentrism, which believes that all forms of life are equal, flora, fauna, microorganisms, all that is living on this planet must be conserved because it is living, because it is surviving. It has been created by God, whether it is a small ant or any animal living in the deep forest or any fish which is present in the deep oceans. They have a right to exist, they have a right to survive, and this view, this theory believes that all whatever is living on this planet must be conserved, must be protected, because on the ethical grounds. Another theory is ecocentrism, which believes that not only the living part of the environment, but equally important are the non-living parts, and that is why it stresses on the importance of the different abiotic components of the environment. Conservation of water, conservation of minerals, because it says that the living entity is incomplete without the non-living components which are there. So, equally important are the different meteorological phenomena, different climatic patterns which take place, the precipitation patterns are taking place. So, everything has a role in it. So, we cannot expect individually human beings to survive or other organisms to live comfortably without having inputs from the other abiotic components. And on view of this, there have been certain environmental attitudes which have been formed. This is the development ethic, preservation ethic and conservation ethic. So, development ethic is more so guided by the anthropocentric view, means all that is good must be done. Preservation ethics is ecocentric in nature, and conservation ethic is a middle path. It seeks to find a balance between our activities and those which are pertaining to the conservation of the environment. So, let me explain to you what is development ethic. It says that if it is can be done, it should be done, and it believes that human rights, basic needs, social justice, they are equally important because we are moving on the path of the development. So, development will ultimately take care of all what is happening in the environment. That is the development ethic, which stresses on the importance of personal development, country's development, economic progress, because environment will be taken care of once we are out of the you can say poor stage. When we have developed fully, then we will be able to take care of the different resources which are present on the planet. Then there is another group which says and which highlights the preservation ethics, which says that nature has got intrinsic value, and it deserves protection. So, equally every life form has a right to exist like we are living on this planet. So, as we are living, so similar way the other creatures also have a right to exist on this planet. And conservation ethic, as I have said, it is a kind of a middle path, and it says that equally important is to develop, but along with that it is also important to see that nature is in harmony, health of the natural world, forest, fisheries, habitats, ecological diversity, all is important, because if the development has to sustain, if we are on the path of sustainable development, if we have to foster equality among different sections of the society, it is important that we also take care of the nature and its different components. So, environmental ethics in view of this becomes important at different stages. It is important from industrial point of view, it is important from individual point of view, and it is also important from the global point of view. So, while we practice environmental ethics, it has to be equally practiced, followed. Industrial environmental ethics will guide you on the basis of the set of conducts from industrial point of view, because they are the main polluters of the environment. They also take the natural resources. So, what ethics are important for an industry to follow? Individually also it is important to see that how our behavior is environment friendly and we are not damaging the environment for our own personal good, and globally also, because there has to be a common dialogue, a global partnership, and we must understand that nothing can exist in isolation. So, it has been also very clearly stated by Aldo Leopold that his thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability of biotic community, and it is wrong when it tends to otherwise. So, conservation of natural resources and biotic communities is very, very important under environmental ethics. And need not to emphasize, we must say that India has a rich tradition of environmental ethics. We have been following, we have been respecting nature, we have been respecting other creatures on this planet, we have been following the eco-friendly lifestyle. So, conservation of natural resources is reflected in our history, culture, religion and philosophy. Compassion for animates and inanimates is there in our lifestyle, and we are thoughtful about environment protection. The world has woken up now towards environmental issues, but we have been following the sustainable lifestyles since long. So, learners, in this session we have studied in detail about the environmental ethics, the importance of environmental ethics and the different theories which govern the environmental ethics. Thank you.